Welcome into another episode of Action Talk. I'm your host, Mark Saavedra, and I'm joined by my co-host, Thomas Shafer. And it is conference championship weekend. Thomas, we did a great job with the divisional round. We gave out some great props, really juicy ones, some touchdown scores, some first quarter bets. We did pretty well last week, man. We made it out all right.
Yeah, I went 4-0 against the spread on the podcast. So if you tailed that, I know I didn't give out a parlay, but I did parlay that, and it was like 25-1 odds because I got the extra money with the Bucks money line. So we definitely had a great weekend.
Yeah, man. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets because we're giving out free plays. And like I said, we've got first quarter haters, so you can look forward to the end of the first quarter, which is not something we typically do, but when you're degenerate, you got something to look forward to, man. We hit a 4-1 Bucks to be leading between 1 and 6, I think it was, or Packers. I don't remember which team, but it was great. So that's that. Moving forward to the conference championship weekend, we got the Buccaneers going to Green Bay, where the Packers have been absolutely deadly this season, Thomas. 3.5-point favorites, those Packers are. How you feeling about this one?
Usually the hottest team going into the playoffs makes a playoff run and ultimately wins the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking that it's going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady. He's making his 14th conference championship appearance. That's insane. You know, Rodgers, Breeze, and your boy Big Ben combined only have 13 appearances. So he has more appearances than 3 of those guys that are going to be sure thing Hall of Fame. You know, some of those guys are probably going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. And I'm just rolling with the with the Bucks. I predicted them to win the Super Bowl in the beginning of the season, and I'm just rolling with them till the wheels fall off and they lose.
The thing is, I mean, after that game, and I hit some of my bets because I had Bucks money line, I was like, I put out a parlay and I had the Bucks in it. And now I'm like, man, it took Drew Brees playing piss poor football and then being +3 in the turnover differential to win the game. And it wasn't very convincing. The offense, you and I were texting, we were panicking. You told me you were like, I'm pulling a mark this week. The game's over. Like in the first quarter, like we were freaking out because we were like, how is Bruce Arians going back to what has failed him the entire season and going away from what Brady has been doing so well with? And what we were talking about last week on the pod with a 14-1 touchdown interception ratio and all that stuff. I can't trust Bruce Arians. And Matt LaFleur is looking really good with Aaron Rodgers right now. And they haven't allowed more than 18 points in the past 3 games. They're on a 7-game winning streak, 5-2 against the spread in that time, and they've won all those games by 7 or more points. So they're hot right now. I got to roll with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I have some future bets for the Bucks to win the conference and to win the Super Bowl. So worst case is a little hedge for me.
I'm really disappointed because in your pick this week because, you know, great teams, good teams win despite bad performances and they find ways to win. And I know the Bucks offense, the receivers didn't show up. AB, Mike Evans, Godwin, and Gronk, they all combined for 61 total yards receiving. That's embarrassing, and they still won the game. They found because it's Tom Brady. He gets the most out of these receivers. He got the most out of Leonard Fournette catching out of the backfield, and that guy is a below average receiver, you know, coming out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He's awful, and he almost led the team in receiving yards. Cameron Braid actually led the team in receiving yards, and then he got big catches from Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, and that's what Brady does. He makes these players better than they are, even when his studs aren't showing up for the game. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers, he's looked incredible all season, but besides that game against the Bucks where the Bucks defense was teeing off on him, and I know he doesn't like to get hit, and I know who loves to hit him. Ndamukong Suh's coming after this guy. He was tired of all that wrecking of his team up in Detroit for all those years, and he's finally on a team that's on the verge of a Super Bowl. And I think you're on the wrong side of this, and I think you're making a terrible mistake by betting on Aaron Rodgers and then my boy Tom Brady.
Hey man, it's hard going against Brady as an underdog, right? I mean, he's 34-23 as an underdog straight up in his career, so the guy's lethal and profitable. But I just think the Packers are a better team. We haven't seen that offense struggle in a while. And last time they played, yes, the Bucks blew them out, but I mean that was not your typical Aaron Rodgers. This is a different team. They're able to adjust, and like they don't even need to adjust because they're firing right out of the gates every week. They're doing very well in Lambeau Field. They kill in this freezing cold weather. So I don't know how you're feeling.
I think you're mistaken. Jared Goff played really good last week, really good. And you text me after his first three throws, and you're like, "Oh, this guy, it's over for him." I'm like, "Let's give this guy more than 3 catches, okay? Let's give this guy a chance." And he looked pretty good. The reason why they lost that game was because of the defense. It wasn't because of Jared Goff. So I think, and I personally think, without Aaron Donald on that team, that defense is really, really overrated in my opinion. And I think I don't think they have the linebackers that the Bucs have, and if they're able to stop the run, and we know that they can with Ndamukong Suh and all those guys up front, that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be able to play off his little fancy play action. Oh, I'm going to sling it 60 yards on a dime. So I just don't see it happening like that.
He doesn't need to. He's very good at getting rid of the ball quick. They have an excellent screen game as long as Marquez Valdes-Scantling and now Lazard are capable of catching the ball. But I don't know, man. Like I trust Aaron Rodgers, and like I said, it took such bad play. We had a Jared Cook fumble. We had 3 Breeze interceptions and a 10-point game. I don't know, man. I mean, that's not convincing.
So you're taking away the Bucks plays that made them win the game, and you're saying, well, if they didn't do that, they didn't do that. But that's what happened. That's how they won the game.
Yes, but my point is that they're not going to get a +3 turnover differential this week. So +3 turnover, get a 10-point win. That's not very convincing, especially not against Drew Brees, who is not that difficult to scheme against, in my opinion. You just pretty much
convincing win. They were underdogs last week. They weren't favorites. That's a convincing win going into New Orleans and winning as underdogs. They weren't the favorite.
Yeah, that was a trap for the public. Are you kidding me? That was free money for us. That was free money.
Okay.
That was free.
You know what? I know. This is free money for me this weekend, and not free money for you.
Well, you know what I am taking here is the over, because either way, I do believe that there's going to be a lot of points being scored here. To the baddest mans to ever toss a pigskin, I mean, you got to believe there's more than 51 points here, right? I mean, Brady did play a long time in the cold, right? Like, I mean, they did have practice in snow and sleet and upside down and sideways rain and all kinds of rain, right? All that stupid nonsense. Like you've seen the videos. Like Brady, Gronk, they can handle the snow. He's gonna be able to throw it. And man, I don't know, 51 is such a low total. I think this is weird that it's so low, but gotta go with the over. So enough of that. We obviously disagree there. I think we might agree here. Let's see. We got the Bills going to Kansas City. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. How are you feeling about this one, Thomas?
Well, I think if you're going to bet on the Chiefs, that you have to bet this now because it's still at 3, right? It's not at 3.5, right?
Yeah, it's at 3.
So if this is still at 3, that you need to take this now before Patrick Mahomes is activated on Sunday, and the number is going to go up. If you're going to bet on the Bills, wait, because I think when Mahomes is activated, that number, will go in your favor also. But
really quick to cut you off, what do you think it goes to? I'm thinking like maybe like 4.5. What do you think it goes to if when he's activated?
I think it'd be 5.5.
Damn.
I think it could.
Yeah. I mean, it's Patrick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the public mindset is, Patrick Mahomes, he's on all these commercials. He just won the Super Bowl, so all the money is going to be on the Chiefs, I would think. I mean, just like thinking as like a fan, that you would bet on that guy over Josh Allen and the Bills. But for me personally, I picked on our preview show in the beginning of the season. I said it was going to be the Bucs against the Chiefs. So I'm going with the Chiefs because Thomas, 5 months ago, whenever it was, said that was going to be the Super Bowl matchup. So why would Thomas, be wrong? So yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. This is going to be Brady versus Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, Tom Brady, going against the guy that's trying to dethrone him. And everybody in the media thinks like he's going to be the next guy or the guy with the opportunity to become the GOAT. This would be like if Michael Jordan and LeBron James played in the finals. Um, that's how like I imagine that this is the Super Bowl would go. But yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. As long as Patrick Mahomes plays, if Chad Henne starts, I'm not picking the Chiefs. Um, but I'm worried about the Bills' rush offense. It is pathetic. They're averaging 60 yards on the ground through 2 playoff games. Um, Neither of these teams can really run the ball great, but the Chiefs do it better. And that's what I'm worried about. As much as I love Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, I think you still have to be able to run the ball to close out a close game. And I think that this will be a close game. And when it comes down to that fact, I don't think that they're going to be able to push the pile enough with Singletary and Zach Moss. Um, Josh Allen might have to run it a little bit more than he has to. And I just don't see that being like an effective way of winning.
Here's my thing. Initially, I was on the Chiefs, but then I thought, like, man, I mean, even before the concussion, Mahomes started missing some throws because of that toe or foot injury, whatever it may be. Um, and if he already has that going on, like the concussion's not even the thing to worry about because that's not going to affect his play on the field. Like, yes, it's going to affect. He practiced today. Okay, today's Wednesday. Sorry to date us, but he practiced today, so it looks like he's going to play. If he plays, the concussion's not going to really impact him much because he would pass protocols that would make sure that it doesn't affect him physically. Yada yada yada. The toe, he was missing some throws. He was 10 for 11, and that's when they started mentioning. Romo was like, "Oh, it looks like he's still doing all right with that toe, whatever." And then he started underthrowing a couple of receivers, and it looked like it started bothering him. And if he loses mobility, it's a big part of their offense, big part of who Patrick Mahomes is. Man, I gotta go the Bills. I mean, I was on the Bills train, jumped off for a week to go my Ravens. That was not my Ravens, my Super Bowl pick, which was the Ravens. Steeler fan, not my Ravens. And I'm back on the Bills train, man. I love it. Plus money, give me +3, whatever it is. It's at +140 right now. Slamming it. I love it. Give me Josh Allen. Give me that +140. A little under 50% of the money line bets are on the Bills right now. So it's a close one right now, Thomas. People are having a hard time picking this one.
As much as I love Josh Allen, and I've been saying on the show the whole season that he's really impressed me, and Stephon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the NFL. I just don't see it happening with them not being able to run the ball. I know I'm just repeating what I just said, but I think that's huge. And you said it's not going to like the concussion if Mahomes plays, it's not going to affect him on the field because he'll be ready to play. I don't really buy that that's not going to affect him on the field, regardless of they go through the proper protocol. I don't know what the proper protocol is. I've never played in the NFL, so I don't know. I don't really know what that means. I've never had a concussion, but I've known people that have had concussions, and they were screwed up for like a month. Like they literally said they felt like they weren't the same, and they did play sports also, and they're like, I probably came back too soon. And if these people, they're not playing in the National Football League, but it still affects people the same way. So I still think he could be a little like a couple wires loose in the game, but
And
I
you
just
did say that it could potentially be a nerve in his neck as well, because as you saw, it's like, it looked like almost he was getting like choked or like it was weird the way he was getting yanked, kind of. So there's the possibility that it was that as well. But he is going through the 5-day, 5-step concussion protocol. One of them is that he has to practice, and then they see what his symptoms are like what he experienced, like if he felt any nauseousness or pain, whatever it is. Like, I'm not a doctor. I don't even know why I'm even getting into it. I shouldn't have mentioned 2 things, but they have their 5-step, 5-day procedures that they do. And I'm here being a degenerate gambler. I'm not getting into the medicine. But I'm rolling the Bills, man. Like I said, we got to worry about the concussion. Like you just said, maybe it does impact him. We got to worry about that. We got to worry about the toe. And I know you're worried about the Bills' rush offense, but this is the worst. Last week, this was the worst remaining rush defense in the playoffs. So this week, obviously, it's the worst rushing defense in the playoffs. This is not a good, stout defense against the run. So Last week,
Are you talking about the Chiefs or the Bills?
The Chiefs. Excuse me. Yes, I'm talking about the Chiefs. They looked very good last week against the Browns, but I don't know if they'll be able to do that against the Bills, a much better team than the Bills.
Wait. I'm confused. Running the ball or against
I'm
defense?
saying I know you're concerned with the Bills' lack thereof rushing offense, but
Yeah.
the rushing defense is so bad that I think they'll be able to do well enough to.
Have you seen Devin Singletary and Zach Moss rush the ball this entire season?
Yes, I mean they actually missed Zach Moss last week, so I mean I wouldn't even disrespect him. But yes, I have seen Devin Singletary, and I mean they signed Devontae Freeman, right? Didn't they?
I don't even know if they did.
I think they did last week, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I did that backward. I did that wrong, but
It's all good. You can just blame it on the camera.
praise God and good luck to Devontae Freeman, but he's not what he was 4 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect us to disagree, honestly, on both these games.
Neither did I. I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm not going to miss the Bucks because I really can't trust Bruce Arians, and I'm not going to bet on him. And if like I said, it's worst case, it's a hedge for me because I already have a good amount of money on them to win the conference and to win the Super Bowl. So I'm comfortable going with the Packers this week because, like I said, for me personally, the worst case, it's a hedge. I'm not losing anything. But I also just trust Rodgers, and I think they got it this week. They're just a better football team. They're rolling, and they haven't shown any signs of slowing down. And the Bucks, I mean, last week really scared me that they went against a well-coached team and they struggled. So sorry, Thomas, disagreeing with you there. And sorry, last thing on this game, going with the under 54. Because like I said, we got dinged up Mahomes, and we got 40% chance of precipitation. The high's going to be 43, low 31, cold night. I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to get too many points out of this one, so I'm rolling the under 54. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with the numbers in any of these games, but I have so much riding on the Bucks to, eventually win the Super Bowl and for the matchup to be the Bucks and the Chiefs. I'm not even going to bet these games because there's no reason for me to bet on these games unless I was going to hedge on the Packers. But those are my against the spread picks, and I went 4-0 last week. So.
That means that you're due to come back to normal.
No, that means I'm firing on all cylinders and I'm hot.
Does it stay for 7 days? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I actually put out a parlay that was the same totals, had the Bills in it, and I put the Bucks in it on Sunday. So might need to do the same parlay with the Packers. Just have both those rolling around. Nice little 12-1 parlay if you want to mess with that. Those are my picks. And like I said, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets. We're giving free plays for NBA. Got some NHL plays even coming your way every now and then when we see something like we got some NHL plays, college basketball, and of course, we got you with NFL plays. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets and like and subscribe below.